If we do this, we'd be going in short-handed.
Yeah, you mean because he killed all our friends?
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
It's not about how much we lost. It's about how much we have left. We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me? I do.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Tickets on sale now.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie. We got a brand new Avengers Endgame trailer to break down. Tickets are on sale, that's why they dropped this. There's a whole bunch of new footage. It's from all over the place, and they're mixing and matching so many different things, so you probably noticed a bunch of Easter eggs during this. Because tickets are on sale, we'll do a new round of the IMAX giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite moment from the trailer on the video. We start on a shot of the Avengers base at night. There's a whole bunch of voiceover from a bunch of the different Avengers. Banner starts with, "If we do this, we go in short-handed." I think this is happening relatively early in the movie before you see them all climb on the Benatar with Captain Marvel there. There was footage that Disney screened at a private investors meeting that takes place directly after the Captain Marvel post-credit scene where you have Thor grabbing Stormbreaker, trying to shake Captain Marvel a little bit, just testing her. The footage is basically Captain Marvel showing up in her gold costume. Then later, after she explains who she is, she's one of the first people to push that they go directly for Thanos. And because at that point, Nebula and Iron Man have already made it back to planet Earth, they have the Benatar available. They use information that Nebula gives them about where Thanos' farm is to go directly after him. So that's what they're doing on the back of the Benatar here, where Captain America is wearing his Winter Soldier outfit, but like Banner says, they're going in short-handed because Hulk is not there. Banner himself isn't on the back of the Benatar here. Iron Man isn't there, and they don't have Ant-Man either. Fun fact too, Rhodey is also one of the first people to question Captain Marvel about why she wasn't around for the earlier Avengers engagements. How come you weren't here for the snap? Where were you this whole time? People wonder, like how come Nick Fury didn't page her before now? Love the scene of Thor here at the table. Implied that this is happening when they're all arguing initially. He has that giant plate of what looks like dinner rolls in a LaCroix. So Thor is a big fan of LaCroix if you ever get to have dinner with him. Whether or not you're a big fan of that, behind the scenes, that's what they drink on set when they're having lunch. This is a picture of them behind the scenes with Doctor Strange filming Infinity War with everybody drinking LaCroix. There's the Black Widow dialogue that they transpose with this scene of her with her long red hair sitting outside the Avengers base in the rain, saying, "We owe this to everyone in this room who's not here to try." But here's the thing, she doesn't have red hair when she's on the back of the Benatar, so using her hair to chart the timeline a little bit, when it's blonde and short relatively soon after the events of the snap, maybe several weeks, maybe a couple months, not that much time has passed, because Captain America still has a beard in the Captain Marvel post-credit scene. So maybe this scene of him here in the bathroom, clean shaven, is when he actually shaves the beard off relatively early in the film. Now we know when the scene from the other trailer with him talking to Black Widow on the back of the Benatar is coming from. It's from really early in the film when they first go after Thanos, which as you can assume now is probably pretty unsuccessful. Like they have a shot that they transpose of them looking up as if they're looking up at a ship. Then you see Thanos' Sanctuary 2 ship above that planet. It's really hard to tell when this is happening during the movie though. And this planet behind the Benatar, when you see them flying before they flash the interior of the ship, is not planet Earth. It's a good reminder that they're mixing and matching footage from all over the timeline of the film, so none of these shots happen one right after the other. They splice in the footage of the Quinjet over Tokyo. This is probably when Black Widow goes to get Hawkeye. We see him later in the trailer, but I think that corresponds to the scene with all the original Avengers together without Thor and Captain Marvel. Also, fun fact that at no point during this trailer do you see all 6 original Avengers on screen together, but really interesting, there are a couple different scenes with different combinations of the original Avengers together, even the one where they fight Thanos at the end of the trailer here. You get the Iron Man voiceover where he's hugging Pepper, says it's not about what we lost, it's about how much we have left. Obviously, the dialogue is from a different part in the film. Like I said, the Stormbreaker scene happens from really early in the film when Captain Marvel is pushing for them to go after Thanos, the first time that they go after Thanos during the movie. It's implied that they fight him a couple different times during the film, because it looks like he comes to the Avengers base at the end of this trailer. You get a wide shot of the Avengers base in the middle of the daytime, but then you see Iron Man in his brand new armor with the gold arms, his classic comic book inspired armor, flying over New York City from what looks like much later in the film. The way they cut this, it makes it seem like Black Widow with her longer red hair is smiling at Hawkeye. It is possible that this is after they bring him back, because we see her with long hair when she goes to Tokyo. Because I think that was the whole idea of his scenes from the last trailer, is that like he's high-fiving his daughter there, teaching her archery with them having a picnic on their farm in the background. He has the ankle bracelet on, so you know it's before the snap. So not only has he gone full Ronin, he's got that giant skull tattoo on his arm to remind him of his dead family. You get the scene of Iron Man and Captain America in the alleyway. Do you trust me? This is happening somewhere in New York City. Later in the film, Captain America is wearing his newer scale armor he has an earpiece in. Captain America says, yes, I think that dialogue comes from that same scene, but the footage of Iron Man shaking his hand, I think is actually him shaking Ant-Man's hand, because look at the bottom of his costume here on the right side of the frame. None of Captain America's armors look like that. Not the new scale armor, not his classic armor from the Avengers film, not the Winter Soldier armor. This looks like Ant-Man's new costume because he has that silver belt on. So this might be from that scene where they're looking at the events of the original Avengers movie. I just don't think that they wanted to show you Ant-Man full in frame, but I do think that he's shaking Ant-Man's hand in this scene. You get that really funny and sad picture of Iron Man looking at Spider-Man's picture with them both giving each other bunny ears, looking in the camera. He has a little plaque that he's holding upside down in frame. That might be his certificate for joining the special Stark program. I think this is left over from Civil War. I think that was the excuse that they used so that Aunt May would give him permission to go to Germany for the little quote-unquote field trip. This picture of Iron Man here too reminds me a lot of the original Avengers movie. Like he has the line of dialogue where he says, "We're the Avengers, we gotta finish this," but I think that they spliced that sentence together from two different parts of the film. So remember, two important quotes from Iron Man: "We're the Avengers, we could bust arms dealers all the livelong day," but that up there, that's Endgame, is the quote from Avengers Age of Ultron. Then there's the quote from the original Avengers movie where he's making the drink, talking to Loki, and says, "If we can't protect the Earth, you'll be damn sure we'll avenge it." So now they are in that timeline. They're damn sure going to avenge the Earth. This shot of Thor inside this wooden hut might actually be from Thanos' hut on his little farm there where he sat down at the end of Infinity War. The planet is called Titan 2, but it's made to be a new version of what Titan used to look like before it was destroyed. This might be from earlier in the film when they first go after him. This shot of Rocket, though, looking up at something, looks like it's actually on Thanos' ship, though, because look at all those carvings on the floor there. Those look like the designs on Thanos' big ship, which is called the Sanctuary 2. We saw a little bit of it when Thanos took Gamora back there so they get the location of the Soul Gem from her. This shot of Captain America with his shield is in his new scale armor. I think pretty much all these next couple of shots are from the same scene at the Avengers base when Thanos ports in. So at some point, he comes to attack the Avengers facility, which I also think corresponds to the scene of Ant-Man in the last trailer where you see him really small. You see like the rubble of this big explosion, like a pencil, all these office supplies. I think that's after Thanos comes and destroys the Avengers base. You get the Thanos voiceover, "You could not live with your own failure, and where did that bring you? Back to me." That line of dialogue might be from earlier in the film when they first go to fight him on his farm. So I think the idea is that there's a couple encounters with him, a couple different times. They're short-handed, like Banner says, and each of those times they're unsuccessful. They probably don't finally beat him at the end of the film until all original 6 Avengers are working together at the same time, everybody at once style. You see him port to planet Earth with heavily damaged armor as if he's been fighting them earlier in the film. This may be damage that they just dealt him when they tried to fight him earlier. You see Iron Man in his gold armor that looks like it was damaged a little bit in the explosion. Then you see the original Avengers, or some of the original Avengers, slowly walking to Thanos in the rubble, who's just sitting there. You see his giant sword stuck in the ground. Even though you only see Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor walking towards him in frame. Remember in the last trailer, we also saw scenes of Nebula amidst the same type of rubble, which seems like it's also happening at the Avengers base. And we saw Rocket standing on War Machine that also seemed like it was from a similar scene. So there are more people besides these 3 original Avengers in this moment here. Remember the scene of Hawkeye in those tunnels underneath a building with a giant explosion going off in the last trailer? That could also be from when Thanos blows up the Avengers base. And also, big Hulk theory. So when is Banner going to finally turn into the Hulk again? Because there are a couple different shots where they're walking through the Avengers base, like where they're wearing the white quantum suits. Banner is not in this one, but this shot of them from the other trailer, they're not wearing those suits, so it's from a different point in the film. Banner is in the background of this, but it's just Banner. He hasn't become the Hulk yet. So early theory about the timeline of the film and when we finally get Hulk again, because I know we're all wondering about Professor Hulk. We've seen a couple different models from him wearing different types of suits, one in the quantum suit because of all the toys, but one in this purple looking spandex suit that expands with him when he hulks out. So early theory, Banner does not turn back into the Hulk again until Thanos blows up the Avengers base, and that's what triggers his first big transformation. That would also imply that this fight at the Avengers base is happening a little bit earlier in the film, because I think they're trying to do everything they can to keep footage from the very end of the film out of this. Very rarely do we ever see scenes from the very end, or if we do, they're heavily doctored so that we don't know that that's what's going on. Even if you look at the old Infinity War trailers where you see Captain America grabbing his gauntlet, that's from a little bit later in Infinity War, but there was still a lot of film that happened after this moment, because that was the gauntlet that was before he assembled all the gems, that was before he snapped everyone, before you got all those other scenes. So unless there's some crazy Photoshop skills going on here, it seems like they wear the white quantum suits and work out this plot before Thanos attacks the Avengers base, because there wouldn't be any base for them to walk through if it was all blown up. Interesting things that we know are in the film but have not seen yet because of all those recent posters they released. We know that Valkyrie is going to be in the movie at some point. I have a feeling that, because we don't see Thor in this giant scene with all the Avengers together, he might be traveling around the Nine Realms looking to assemble a small army to get some help for them in their fight against Thanos. And during that, maybe that's when he runs into Valkyrie, because the Russos revealed that she and Korg helped part of the Asgardians escape Thor's ship before Thanos showed up at the beginning of Infinity War. We haven't seen Wong in any of the trailers. We know that he's in the film. We haven't seen Okoye in any of the trailers. We know that she's in the film too, so we know that they go to Wakanda at some point. I'm assuming Wong also provides some input into what Doctor Strange may have meant when he said, this is the only way, because at some point they will have to address the 1 in 14 million chance that Doctor Strange said that they had. What was that one timeline that he saw where they were able to win? But the Russos did confirm that the movie is going to be crazy long. Now, people at Disney have said that the runtime might come down just like a little bit because people reported that it was going to be over 3 hours, which is crazy long. Think about how many moments you have with the characters in a movie that long. I know it doesn't seem too much longer than, say, like Captain America Civil War, which is just a little over 2.5 hours. But an extra 30 minutes in a film is a lot of extra time. I would recommend that you do not buy the large soda. Just maybe don't buy drinks at all when you go see this film, just to be safe. But I think just based on what all the official people have been saying the last couple of days is that when you sit through the entire credits, like everything in the movie, then it will be over 3 hours long. I know there are a lot of questions about what the post-credit scenes are. We'll talk more about that as we get more evidence, but I have a couple theories about them teasing Phase 4 stuff. I've done videos for that already. I'll link one of them at the end of this. But just post all your theories in the comments, and if you spotted any big Easter eggs that I didn't mention in the video, just let me know in the comments. There was another new Game of Thrones trailer that dropped this morning. I'll do a video for that next. I'll try to get that up in the next couple of hours, but leave all your requests in the comments, and I'll name a giveaway winner when I post new Marvel. Click here for that Marvel Phase 4 video and post-credit scenes that I talk about, and click here for those brand new Game of Thrones trailers. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.